Once upon a time, in the heart of Damascus, the capital of the great Umayyad state, where Islamic civilization reached its zenith, and where the caliphate's palaces buzzed with life and knowledge, in the mid-8th century AD, a boy was born named Abd al-Rahman ibn Muawiyah ibn Hisham ibn Abd al-Malik. Abd al-Rahman grew up in a royal family. He was the grandson of the Umayyad Caliph Hisham ibn Abd al-Malik, which provided him with a fertile environment for the growth of his passion for leadership and administration, and for learning the secrets of governance from an early age. From his childhood, Abd al-Rahman was not like his peers. While other children played in the palaces of Damascus, he spent long hours learning the arts of combat, horsemanship, and military planning, in addition to studying religious sciences, language, and literature. His keen eyes caught the finest details in politics, and his young mind sought to understand the secrets of leadership and influence. He possessed sharp intelligence, shrewdness, rare courage, and an unyielding determination which made him beloved by all and heralded a great future. Abd al-Rahman believed that justice was the foundation of kingship, and that strength and determination were the keys to victory, and that a true leader possessed military insight and the ability to turn the tide of battle. In addition to the ability to build states from nothing, therefore, he decided that his life would be a journey in the arts of governance, combining military leadership with wise administration, and patronizing science and scholars. In the prime of his youth, the pivotal moment in Abd al-Rahman's life arrived in 132 AH 750 AD. The great catastrophe that changed the face of Islamic history occurred: the fall of the Umayyad state in Damascus at the hands of the Abbasids. The Abbasid campaign to eliminate the Umayyads was comprehensive and brutal. Members of the Umayyad family were hunted down and killed mercilessly. Abd al-Rahman, a young man not yet 20 years old, found himself pursued, alone, without money or support, except for his determination and faith. Thus began Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil's great escape. It was a perilous journey, filled with pursuits, betrayals, hunger, and thirst. He moved between villages and cities in the Levant, then crossed the deserts to Egypt, then to Africa, modern-day Tunisia, sometimes hiding, sometimes fighting. The long nights he spent in hiding, and the nights he spent walking, were proof of his patience and endurance. He had seen death with his own eyes many times, but he never despaired. He believed that God was with him, and that he had a mission to fulfill. In Africa, Abd al-Rahman tried to find support among the Berber tribes, but he faced great challenges. Ifriqiya at that time was under the rule of Abbasid governors, or local princes who did not trust him. He felt alienated and alone, but he did not stop searching for his opportunity. His eyes turned towards Andalusia, where there were remnants of Umayyad supporters, and where the country was suffering from chaos and internal conflicts between Arab and Berber tribes, and the weak rule of governors loyal to the Abbasids. In 138 AS 755 AD, after 5 years of flight, Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil arrived in Andalusia. This moment was a crucial turning point in his life and the history of Andalusia. He did not come with a massive army, but with his heart and mind, with his intelligence and cunning, and with his unparalleled courage. He was welcomed by some of his loyalists and old Umayyad supporters, and he began to rally support around him. Key locations and battles in his life: Battle of Musarah 138. This battle is considered the first spark for the establishment of his state and Andalusia. In it, Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil faced the army of Yusuf al-Fihri, the governor of Andalusia at that time, who controlled Cordoba. It was a decisive battle. Despite the numerical superiority of al-Fihri's army, Abd displayed unparalleled military genius in it. Inspiring leadership, he fought in the front lines, igniting his soldiers' enthusiasm with his words and courage. Exploiting terrain, he chose a strategic location suitable for his tactics, speed, and surprise. He launched a surprise attack on al-Fihri's army, which confused them. Patience and steadfastness. Despite the difficulty of the battle, the Muslims showed legendary patience and steadfastness. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil achieved a crushing victory at Musarah and entered Cordoba as a conqueror, which opened the way for the establishment of his state. Consolidating rule. The Battle of Musarah was not the end. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil subsequently faced many internal revolts from warring tribes, from Abbasid followers, and from some who coveted power. He dealt with these revolts firmly and cunningly, suppressing them one after another, using a combination of force and diplomacy. It took him many years to consolidate the pillars of his state. Facing external threats, the challenges were not only internal. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil also faced external threats from the Franks in the north, and from the Abbasids who tried to reclaim Andalusia. He dealt with these threats intelligently, established a strong army, and fortified the borders. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil's military and political tactics were characterized by determination and perseverance. He never despaired despite all the difficulties he faced. Intelligence and cunning. He was skilled at using deception and misdirection, and at exploiting the weaknesses of his opponents. Flexibility and adaptability. He was able to quickly change his plans according to the developments of the situation. Inspiring leadership. He was a role model for his followers, igniting their enthusiasm with his words and courage. State building. He was not merely a conqueror, but a state builder, organizing administration, establishing justice, and encouraging construction. Justice and equality. He sought to apply justice among people, regardless of their origins or religions, which earned him their loyalty. Despite all these victories, the human side of Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil's life was prominent. He was a devout, humble man who loved Allah and his messenger and prioritized obedience to Allah above all else. He was known for his love of knowledge and literature, and his patronage of scholars and poets. He loved beauty and ordered the construction of lush gardens, such as al-Rusafa in Cordoba, which reminded him of the gardens of Damascus. He was known for his loyalty to his loyalists and supporters who stood by him in his ordeal. Abd al-Dakhil suffered from a constant longing for his homeland, Damascus, which he was forced to leave. It is said that he would recite poetry expressing his longing and yearning. This aspect shows the extent of his humanity and the depth of his feelings, despite his occasional harshness in dealing with his opponents. Among his famous sayings, I am the Falcon of Quraish. I entered Andalusia alone, and I made it a state. This shows his pride in himself and his achievements. I endured the bitterness of life until I became a master. This shows his determination. Justice is the foundation of kingship. This shows his vision for governance. If I had 10 men in the Levant, I would turn the world upside down. This shows his ambition and longing. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil lived a life full of jihad and contribution and state building. He ruled Andalusia for more than 30 years, transforming it from chaos and conflicts into a strong and unified state, which became a beacon of science and civilization in Europe. He thus founded the Umayyad state in Andalusia, which lasted for centuries after him. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil died in Cordoba in 172 788 AD. After a life full of victories and achievements, the Falcon of Quraish departed in body, but his leadership spirit and his imprint on Islamic history remained alive, inspiring generations. His story is the story of a human being who transformed from a pursued refugee into the founder of a great state, the story of a leader who was never defeated in a decisive battle, and who left a legacy of civilization and progress that is still remembered today. The story of Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil teaches us that sincere faith can transform a person and enable them to achieve the impossible, and that determination and perseverance are the keys to achieving victory even in the most difficult circumstances. It reminds us that true leadership lies not in position, but in the ability to build a civilization, patronize knowledge, and achieve justice. Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil was a model of the brilliant military and political leader who combined courage and cunning, and left an indelible mark on the history of human civilization. Let generations be inspired by the story of this great commander, and let them follow his courage and sincerity, and let them know that true victory is the victory of the spirit over despair, and that knowledge is the light that illuminates the paths of darkness and reveals the secrets of leadership and prosperity.